A bride's emotional moment when an unexpected guest takes her son's empty seat. The wedding day was always going to be filled with mixed emotions. Becky Turney knew there would be tears and a lot of nostalgia. But nothing could have prepared her for the unexpected guest who arrived and sat in the one seat she had left empty for her late son. There had been a time when Becky never thought she would find happiness again. After losing her son, Tristan, she thought life would never feel joyful. Yet, after years of grief, she found herself in a wedding gown, ready to marry the love of her life, Kelly. Her fiancé had been her rock, patiently supporting her through her darkest moments when she felt like a shadow of herself. He never pushed her to heal faster than she could, always showing her love and understanding. But another man had shaped Becky's journey in an unexpected way, a man who was no longer alive. She could still remember the call she received from the police, a moment that shattered her world. Her 19-year-old son, Tristan, was gone in an instant after a tragic accident, and the pain was unbearable. But through that unbearable loss, Becky found the strength to continue, remembering that her son would want her to live, to love, and to find happiness again. As part of her wedding, Becky made the decision to leave one seat empty at the ceremony, a place for Tristan, so that in spirit, he could be present on her special day. The wedding was taking place in Alaska, part of Kelly's dream destination. With the distance and their limited budget, not everyone could be invited, which led to some tension among family members. Some people didn't understand why a seat had to remain empty, and Becky never imagined that someone would show up uninvited. As she prepared for the ceremony, everything seemed perfect. The necklace her son had given her for Mother's Day, the beautiful wedding ring Kelly had placed on her finger. But when Becky noticed her maid of honor glancing at her phone with concern, she could tell something was wrong. She didn't want drama on her wedding day, especially not from people who didn't matter. "It's just your aunt and uncle complaining again," the bridesmaid said, and Becky shrugged it off. Even if the ceremony had been closer to home, those relatives wouldn't have been invited. When it was time for the ceremony, Becky stepped outside to the waiting guests. As she walked down the flower-covered path, she noticed something unexpected. Someone was sitting in the seat that had been meant for her son. A man she didn't recognize, her fiancé, Kelly, stepped forward with a microphone and spoke to the crowd. "Becky, I know how much you wish Tristan were here, so I'd like to introduce Jacob Kilby. He was one of the people your son saved." The surprise was overwhelming. It turned out that Tristan had been an organ donor, and after his death, his heart had been given to Jacob. Becky was filled with a mix of emotions: surprise, joy, and sadness. It was a moment neither she nor anyone else had anticipated. Kelly, who had been working quietly behind the scenes, had tracked down Jacob, knowing how deeply Becky longed for a piece of Tristan to be there with her. In that moment, Kelly gave Becky a stethoscope, and as she listened to Jacob's heartbeat, it was as if her son was still alive, a part of him still with her. The rhythm was the same one she had heard when Tristan was a baby, resting on her chest. Overcome with emotion, Becky embraced Jacob like he was her own child. There was still one more surprise in store. Kelly presented Jacob with a special jacket and boutonniere, making him an honorary member of their wedding party. He would stand in place of Tristan, representing the son she had lost, but also the son who had given the gift of life to someone else. Jacob expressed his gratitude for the gift of life he had received through Tristan's organs. He thanked Becky and Kelly repeatedly, and it was a moment that would stay with them all forever. It was the most unexpected and meaningful gift Becky could have ever received on her wedding day. It was a day of unexpected joy, healing, and a connection that no one could have imagined.